Hi there, I'm Clifford Bates, and welcome once again to Reading Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics, Ethics. Well, okay, that's enough of the nonsense. Today we're kind of continuing in our account of looking at Book 3, the virtues, the first virtue, courage. He started in chapter 6, and he continues, is chapter 9 is the conclusion of the evaluation of courage. He's going to start out chapter 9 with the kind of restatement. Now, although courage is concerned with confidence and fear, it is not similarly concerned with both, but instead more concerned with frightening things. So therefore, it's not necessarily confidence and fear. It's concerned with this is not concerned with both, but instead is more concerned with frightening things. For he who claims in fright, for he who is calm in frightening situations, and is as he ought to be in the face of them courageous, more so than he who is as he ought to be when it comes to what inspires confidence. In other words, for he who is calm in frightening situation, and he as he ought to be in the face of them is courageous, more so than he who is as he ought to be when it comes to what inspired confidence. In other words, the question is that I'm overconfident. I've responded. In other words, if I'm calm because I'm confident, no, this is that. In other words, he's calm because he is what? He understands the danger and he's able to keep on going in spite of knowing the dangers, right? So it's frightening, but he is calm. In other words, he who is calm in frightening situations, and he is and is as he ought to be in the face of them. This is courageous. Then the one who aspires confidence is because they endure painful things, as it was said, that people are spoken of as they're courageous. So therefore, in other words, the people who, because they endure painful things, as been said earlier. In other words, 31. This is the previous passage, the previous chapter in that sense, right? Has been said that they endure painful things. That they've endured painful things, and therefore this is they people are spoken of courageous. Hence, courage is in fact a painful thing, and is justly praised, since it's more difficult to endure painful things than to abstain from pleasures. In other words, you can abstain. It's easier to abstain from pleasures. It's more difficult to endure painful things. Nevertheless, the end that pertains to courage would seem to be pleasant. The end that pertains to courage would seem to be pleasant, but to be obscured by the circumstances that surround it, as occurs, for example, in gymnastic context, right? In other words, the victory, achieving the good deed. This is the pleasant thing, achieving the victory. The boxer is in pain while boxing, but the victory that he gets, this is the pleasure, right? So courage has this sense that, okay, you're avoiding the difficult thing, but the end that pertains to courage, the victory or the noble thing, being the noble death, in fact, is and the fact that this is what pertains us. For the boxer, the end, the crown and the honors, and for the sake of which they fight is pleasant, but being struck is grievous, and given that they're made of flesh and blood, painful, as is all exertion involved. And that's exertion itself is painful. It's flesh and blood because we're flesh and blood. But the victory is that what is honor is the crown and honor. This is pleasant. Being winning in the victory, the crown, the honor. This is pleasant. And because there are many such painful things involved, the end for the sake of which the boxer fights, being a small thing, appears not to be pleasant at all. In other words, the end for the sake of which the boxer fights, being a small thing. This is not to be pleasant at all. In other words, the honor of the thing that the boxer does, it's small thing. The crown and the victory, the thing. This is not as high as the honor and doing great things for the city, the most noble and most beautiful deeds. If therefore what concerns courage is this sort of thing, then death and wounds would be painful to the courageous man, and he will endure them involuntarily. But he will endure them because it is noble to do so, or because it is shameful not to. In other words, therefore, what concerns virtue is this sort of thing. In other words, not the thing they said before, but this sort of thing. Therefore, virtue, what concerns virtue is this sort of thing, then death and wounds will be painful to the courageous man, and he will endure them involuntarily. But he will endure them because it is noble, beautiful to do so, or because it is shameful not to. So this is the idea of this. That this is this idea and the more he possesses complete virtue, and the happier he is, the more he will be pained at the prospects of death. Okay, so the more, in other words, the more he possesses complete virtue, and the happier in the state of that he is suffering eudaimonia, right? The more pained he will be at the prospect of death. For to this sort of person, living is especially worthwhile, and he is deprived of the greatest goods knowingly. He is deprived of, and this is painful thing. In other words, that if I have all the virtues, and I'm in that I am therefore what I am capable of in other words, I am a complete virtue, and and being in the possessing of these the complete virtues, the complete virtue is happy, right? Not suffering death is the even greater pain. Why? He'd be more pain at the prospect of death. For this person, living and especially worthwhile in that sense. He is deprived of the greatest good knowingly. And this is painful thing. Yet he is not less courageous for that, but perhaps even more, because he chooses what is noble in war instead of these greater goods. In other words, he's choosing risking death. Now he has the complete virtue. He can be happy. He is going to be, and therefore, facing death, risking death, or facing death, is going to be one of the greatest pains because he has virtue. He has complete virtue. He is happy. And enjoying that he is happy. Now this is the greatest of goods, and he's risking. He's going to. This is the person who would. Facing death is the most unpleasant thing in this guy, the greatest of things, and therefore he chooses this. He is not least courageous because he's suffering this. That he's pain. He's doing it because of pain in that sense. Yet he is not less courageous for that, but perhaps even more so because he chooses what is noble in war instead of these greatest goods. Hence, the activity is not pleasant. Hence, the activity is not pleasant in the case of all the virtues. So it's not, in other words, this idea that the thing you're doing, the end you're achieving, may not be the virtues. In this case, like the boxer, his victory, his pain is this, but this is not the greatest good. But the person who possesses the greatest virtue, and the virtue might be that, okay, great, but this this honor and this thing actually requires suffering and harm. That is not great pain. In other words, it's not a pleasantness involved here. Hence the activity is not pleasant in the case of all the virtues, except insofar as virtue attains its end. The end's when it goes, which is happiness, right? Virtue aims at the good, and the noblest good, the highest good. Perhaps and perhaps nothing prevents those who are not of this sort from nonetheless being most nothing perhaps those who are being the most excellent soldiers. And I think this excellent soldiers, I think this is the hold on, I'm going to check this because I'm suspicious. So okay, I just did some checking. It's not I didn't see Spudaios, I didn't see Arete here. It's a good soldier. I said there is good. There is this kind of good soldier. I think that's um, the good soldier. The good soldier. I don't know why excellent soldier. Agathos. Good. I saw that line there. Reeves translates it as professional. Reeves professional. Um, again, does professional as well. Um, note two. Okay, notes. Notes. This is Erwin's. Erwin's has good notes. Note. This is. Sorry, I was going this around 9. Must be 5. Sorry. 9 is 2. So and pursuing soldiers. This section concludes the argument of soldiers, the brave soul. The brave person is not wholly unafraid, but he is not paralyzed. So the idea of the soldier here, the soldier in that sense, the soldier is the brave person values life. The brave action involves pain. Okay, so again, that's again soldiers here, the good soldier or something like this. And then last but not least, crisp. I'm thinking all these come from. I don't think it is agathon. It is professional. Everyone's doing professional. So excellent. And I think he means that here. Remember, he talked about the professional soldiers versus the amateur. This is like here. He's saying that these great people, these people are nothing perhaps those who of this sort of possessing all the virtue of being a full time soldier. No, a good soldier in that sense. And hence, I think that most of the translators are putting professional soldiers, going back to the discussion of the professional versus the amateur in that sense. But those who are less courageous, yet possess nothing else good. In other words, that the professional soldiers are those less courageous, yet possess nothing else good. For such men are ready to face dangers. They exchange their lives for small gains. In other words, this professional. I think that's why. Okay, I think this is. I think professional means that they get small gains, like the boxer. He's giving the reference here to the boxer. Okay, I'm going to say it's this very deceptive thing. The good soldier here is maybe to translate it as excellent is not necessarily the best choice. I would suggest that the good soldier means the professional soldier, because why? They're those who are less courageous yet possess nothing else good in that sense. And they're for such men, because they have no other goods. They have no other. In other words, these people who just simply have no other virtues. They have no. They're not gonna. They're not. I mean, they have no other goods. The virtue characteristics in that sense. They're not bad people, but they're not the virtuous. They're not this person who possesses the height of virtue. The person who possesses the height of virtue is risking a lot when they die. But this guy, they're not. They're not. For such men face dangers. They're not. In other words, there's nothing. They're not. These are what he says that such a men, professional soldiers, these who are less courageous in that sense, not risking anything, yet possess nothing else good in that sense. Hence, such men are ready to face dangers, and they exchange their lives for small gains. Professional soldiers, right? They don't have the great virtues. They're lacking these characteristics. So therefore, this is the idea of the professional soldier of that. This is that he doesn't have. They're not the best men. They don't have the complete virtue. They're just ordinary. They may be just vulgar people, but they serve what? They serve. They face danger for small. They exchange their lives for small profits, small gains, small. Um, so let us let what concerns courage then be stated up to this point. So that we're going to finish up courage. This ends courage, he says. But it is not difficult to grasp what it is, in outline at least, from what has been said. So therefore, in other words, we understand it again in outline. There's another outline, more depth outline, but it ends here the discussion of what it is. We're going to stop here. If you have any questions, comments, questions, or concerns, please raise it here for us. Otherwise, uh, 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 um, uh, I'll respond to them when I see them. Please hit the like button if you liked it. Like it. Please hit the like button. Encourage others to hit the like button. Share it. Share it. This if you liked it to friends out there on social media and things like this. Encourage others to see the video in that sense if you think they're useful for them. If you've not subscribed, if you have not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. Do subscribe; it helps grow the channel. Encourage if you know somebody who's interested in the things we do here, please encourage them to subscribe and join the channel. Join us. Subscribing gets you get notifications and things of future videos. Next thing is if you didn't like what I did here and you have some criticisms, please you can always thumbs down it, but please say what are the comments or the issues and that way people can learn. In other words, that if you want to correct me, you can put down there and other people can see if they agree with you, they'll get some benefit from it. If you want to follow me on social media, the social media links are below. If you want to know more about me as a scholar and as a researcher, you can do so through my academic social media links below the social media links. You want to follow my research and see what I do and some of my other articles and publications. Another thing you can do is if you want to help me to do what I do, of course, you can always go to social media from my email and then send me a Amazon gift card or something like that through the social media connection. There's all these dusts going in the air. There's dust particles in the air. No. Another thing you can do is you can contribute through Subscribe Star or Patreon. The links are below on that. So another way you can help if you want buy one of my books. The books are listed below. The 3 published books that are available are listed below. If you've not already have a copy, get one. You can also get one for a friend or someone, a student or someone that would be interested in these topics. It'd be okay. If you want to really help, buying the Lulu book would be best because it is something I'm actually earning money from it. Hopefully earning money when people buy it. Please, and if you buy it through Lulu directly, I will make what bookstores make. And you can therefore buy those books either at an online bookstore like Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or other kind, or through your local bookstore asking them to get a copy for you. Okay, therefore that's it. We'll continue next. We'll look at chapter 10, which we go for sophosune or moderation. Take care. So long. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.